Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello there, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host, and I am joined as always by
BC.
Our keyboard player this evening is
Dylan.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, guys. Hello, BC. Hello, Dylan. Hello, everybody out there. Glad you guys are back spending some time with us. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode and our first episode for Shocktober. This month we're doing all kind of shock rockers and all that kind of shit this month. And this is episode 2, and I'm not sure what Dylan is calling this episode yet, but
I'm not either.
Okay, so he's not either. So you'll see, we're going to be doing a little Alice Cooper this evening, which was really cool to do the stuff for this show. And hope everybody enjoyed Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson last week, which was a little different for us to do because not usually our total wheelhouse. Manson-wise, I think we've talked about Zombie a couple times, and Manson's been thrown in here and there, but a little more. Not crazy in-depth for us, but a little deeper than we usually dive into Marilyn Manson. I thought it was pretty cool, though. It was a fun episode to do. And I was actually surprised that when we were getting ready to do this, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a quick discussion and stuff like that. But once we delved into the discussion and got into John 5 and the differences, I thought it was a good conversation by the time we got done.
Yeah, I think they're two interesting artists to talk about, especially seeing where each one got their influences from. I'm not going to rehash everything we said, but I really thought that was a good talk we had on it.
Oh, definitely. It was a good choice. Because I wouldn't normally listen to Marilyn Manson, I don't think. Other than what you hear, but
right.
I would have delved into a lot more stuff as I did.
Yeah, so it was fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and now we're going to get into a little Alice Cooper. We're going to do a couple albums this evening. And before we get into that, what are we all listening to here? Dylan, you're going to go first this week. Hopefully It's something that's, on topic here.
It is. It's metal.
Okay. Wow,
so
that's a switch.
Opeth came out with a new album last week, last Friday from when we were recording. And they actually put out two different versions of it. They put out an English version and a Swedish version. And the album is called Incada Venenum. So just put Opeth's new album when you're writing.
I will. When I rehash, you can say what it's called.
But it's pretty good. It's a lot more proggy than their earlier stuff. Their earlier stuff was pretty
They're like black metal, right?
Yeah, their earlier stuff is definitely that has the screaming vocals and the growls and everything like that. But this album is a little more light. No, it's not straightforward. It's prog. Okay. So it's there's got a weird jazzy song too. Almost like how Ghost had the sax solo, but the whole song is jazzy. I think it's called the Garroter. But it's a pretty good album so far. I haven't gotten too deep into it, but what I've heard I've really liked. Heart in Hand is probably my favorite song so far on it. But it's good. I recommend it.
All right. I've never checked those guys out. You ever checked those guys out, BC?
I have not.
I've heard the name. I've seen the name and stuff.
There's two versions. The one's in...
Yeah, one's in Swedish, the Swedish language, and one is in English.
Huh. It'd be different.
I'm going to listen to the Swedish language one first.
Okay.
What do you got, BC?
I guess the new Steel Panther came out, so I'm checking that out, and I'm still kicking around Tyr. I'll never pronounce that right.
Yeah, TYR, the name of the band is. We still haven't. We're still trying to figure out what the guy in the band called them because it didn't sound anything like that. I don't know what the fuck he said. For our, I think they're from Sweden also, either Sweden or Finland.
Finland. There's some island.
So if anybody out there, and I know one of our, I'm blanking on your name. One of our listeners, I'm sorry, he sent me some kind of phonetic spelling of how to pronounce it, but I didn't understand how to translate it, I guess. I don't know. So TYR is the band that opened up for Lizzie Borden and Demons and Wizards when we saw them in New York, and they were really good. So check them out. So if you can't pronounce it like us, the band is TYR. and they're really good. Okay. Me, I've actually got a chance to listen to a couple of different things this week, and I got this actually in an email, probably August, and I just got a chance to delve into this album. The band is called Sacrilege, and the album's called The Chord of the Insane. It's fucking excellent. It's like, it reminds me of a King Diamond album without the high vocals. It's really, like, there's parts in there you're like, this could be in a fucking King Diamond song. It's really, really good. And so I've been checking that out the last couple days. Really good metal album, fucking excellent. And Jeff Duncan, who is a guitar player in Armored Saint, and also the guitar player and the vocalist in DC4, put out a new instrumental solo album called Wanderlust this week. Very good, like really cool instrumental stuff. Pretty diverse too. I'm not saying there's like not metal stuff, but it's like it's good. It's and I'm not usually a guy for like a lot of instrumental stuff, but I thought it was very good, and I really totally enjoyed that. And Dylan was happy to hear, and actually I listened to this album today, the new Puddle of Mud album.
No.
Welcome to Gavlana, I guess Galvania. Like, why would a band like that name an album that? I don't know.
Because they're idiots. That's why.
Well, it's actually pretty good. It's actually I kind of enjoyed it. There's a little more mellow stuff, like not mellow, but like more mid-tempo stuff on there than I thought there would be. I figured there'd be like one or two, but there's like four, I think, maybe. But like the rockin' shit's actually pretty good. It kind of brings you back to Come Clean a little bit, like not she likes to smack my ass kind of stuff, but like musically, it kind of brings you back a little bit to that. And I thought that was really good. And there's a band that I actually discovered from Grown Up Rock podcast, Steven and Sonny. I think it was one of their Crank It Up Spotlight songs, bands, and it was a band, Dylan, you like the name of this, Corleone.
Oh, like
Corleone,
yeah,
like
the
Corleones, yeah.
family?
It's Corel capital Leoni. So it's Corleone. So it's like Michael Corleone. It's not Michael Corleone. It's not the Godfather
Corleone.
people.
Yeah.
And it's the album is Corleone 2. And it's a really good hard rock album, just a good chugging band out there. I've been enjoying listening to these kind of different things. And it's nice, too, when we do an artist like Alice Cooper, where I'm really familiar with the stuff, where I don't have to delve deep and go crazy listening to stuff 8,000 times. So I can kind of branch out and listen to some other stuff. So we have Opeth. What's the name of the album, Dylan?
Incata Venenum.
There you go. BC's listening to the new Steel Panther, and he's, what else did you say?
TYR.
Oh, TYR. Okay. Oh, wait. We'll save that discussion. We won't have that one again. I've listened to Sacrilege, The Chord of the Insane, Jeff Duncan's new album, Wanderlust, Corleone 2, and the new Puddle of Mud album, Welcome to Galvania, which is better than you think it's going to be done.
It's Wes Scantlin. I can't imagine it being good.
It's not bad. I tell you, it's not bad. Give it a chance. Don't be so close-minded, Dylan. Me saying that, right? All right. We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to do a little news. All right, in the news this week, before we get into the news, we're going to do a little beer taste testing here. Like totally in fucking shock here. BC brought in this isn't the newest one, though, it's right? This is a couple beers ago that you were not able to get. So it's the Iron Maiden Trooper, the Light Brigade beer from Robinson's Brewery. I'm holding the bottle in my hand. BC, I think he broke a couple import-export laws by getting this beer into the United States. So really cool bottle. It's got the Eddie Trooper, but he's got he's got a blue shirt on his uniform with the white sash, and he's on the horse with the torn-apart British flag on there. Really cool thing. We'll take a picture of it, and we will post it, because I'm hoping Dylan will remember, too, because I probably won't. The top of the beer cap's got the British flag on there. It says, wrong way. It's Help the Heroes, so that must be in support of Help the Heroes. So I don't know if that's a British thing to help their soldiers or what. It's on the top of the cap.
There's something in the box.
But BC will check out the box and let us know. It says But it does say it's charged with flavor, BC.
We'll see.
The bottle's really cool. It's what is this? 20-ounce bottle? I can't really see the
Probably
ounces
16
on
ounces,
here.
probably.
It's at least 16.
It's 4.1 alcohol. And
very light.
golden beer crafted by Iron Maiden vocalist Bruce Dickinson with Robinson Brewery, made using Chinook and Golding hops. And like the printing is really small, so I'm lucky I was able to read that. So let's
lucky I was able to read
try one out. I'll pop one open here. We'll save the cap because the caps are cool, and it's got the British flag on top. And
I gotta thank our longtime listener is a major influence on getting this.
Oh, yeah? All right.
go ahead, give it up, BC.
R.A. Fiorosi, he's a longtime listener. He's never gave up
Huge,
the fight.
huge supporter of our podcast.
And he called me up the one day. He goes, "Guess what? I got us." I'm like,
Oh, he got it first.
he got it first."
Get out! No shit. All right, we fucking love you, buddy. We love you even more now.
He never gave up all this time. I mean, I've been up in Boston area, Carolina area, looking for this, and like everybody looked at me like I had three heads.
Right, because like it wasn't allowed in the country.
Apparently, it was allowed in the country because of something with some kind of God knows what.
Some kind of tariff or export tax or whatever the fuck.
It was something because it was Light Brigade. I have no idea. I don't understand. Something about it. I don't know. It was being called Light Brigade, or I don't know why that would have anything to do with it. It was something with the name of it.
Right.
Because the other ones are in
weird.
the States.
Very weird.
666 and the
Yeah.
regular trooper, and the red and the black. But this one, for some reason, they could not get until just
Really? All right, let's
matter of probably a week and a half ago.
let's check it out. Thank you, RA. We fucking love you, buddy. We're with you 100%. We love you. Let's pour this out here. It's it's not really dark. It's got a little medium.
It's a light brigade.
It's a
Light
light.
Brigade.
I think this is going to be a crisp beer. So BB's going to pour his out there. BB, Light Brigade gives good head, just like you.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
You're gonna pour a
good.
little bit there,
BC,
give
you get
BC
the
a
rest.
little bit. Dylan is not going to partake in this part of the thing. He's not a beer guy. He's more of a soak it in cider kind of guy.
He's waiting until they come out with Trooper cider.
Yeah, when is
Trooper
Maiden
cider.
Oh,
on
there
it?
you go. See, there you go.
Cider's
cider.
big in England.
Because I know
Why don't
Bruce
you have
Dickinson
one?
listens to this podcast. So Bruce, Dylan wants a fucking cider. So let's
Run to the hill cider.
We'll sniff the bouquet here. It's cool. It's got some good foam to it. Let's do a little cheers here to
right.
our friend RA.
RA.
We love you, buddy.
Woo-hoo.
And let's try it out. It is crisp.
It is. I love it.
It is crisp.
Very
It's got
nice.
a good. It's actually like a lighter version of the Trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
It
it is?
really
It's
is.
probably just it's probably like the same recipe, and it's just a different hop that they add to it.
I like it. It's got a crispness to it. It's got great little bubble action here. I'm not a beer connoisseur or taster guy. I'm definitely not. I'm think of someone that's a beer snob. I'm like total opposite end of the fucking spectrum. But this is definitely a drinkable beer. I'm not gonna say you're gonna drink a fucking 6-pack of it a fucking night. But it's a good tasting beer. It's crisp. It's good.
Yeah, for being 4.1%, you definitely could drink it all night long if you wanted to.
You could.
But it's
Especially
great,
if you're
like
fucking-
especially for like the younger generation. They're like what they call like hop heads.
However, if you're on a
there's
budget,
a little hop it.
if you're on a
little hop
budget, this
head
is
to
not
it.
the beer to buy for you.
No,
for you to
no,
buy.
no, not at all.
We will not divulge the price that it was.
BC had to
this
take
is-
out a small refinance of his mortgage
He
to
did. He had to
get
sell-
a
he had to
12-pack
sell-
of this.
He had to sell one of his fire trucks, BC or BB,
Oh my God!
to finance this taste testing.
Who needs a kidney?
That's right. He woke up in a fucking tub of ice,
That's right.
but there was a
With-
12-pack
the
of
12
fucking
pack
Light
of
Brigade
Light
there.
12-pack of
Brigade.
Trooper right next to
So
you.
then
like,
there was a note on it that said, "We're even."
Okay.
But good stuff. So
Good job,
you guys.
BC.
If you can find it, try the Trooper Light Brigade. Which I'm in total shock. BC texted me tonight. He's like, hey, I got the because you kind of hinted to it a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
that it was maybe going to happen, and then it's I don't hate it. I like it. Like what was the one that we hated? Was it the 666?
Wait, there was Trooper.
The black and the
The
red.
black and the red. I don't
the
think
red
you
and the
guys
black.
The
did.
red and the
Yeah.
black. There was one of them that I couldn't even
One
finish
is
the
very-
fucking bottle. It was terrible.
Is very.
I think it was the 666 that I hated the most, though. It was like, oh my God, like I just wanted to.
Is that the
fucking-
hoppy one?
Very hoppy.
666?
I think so.
Yeah, it might have been.
But what else is in the news?
All right. On the news this week, there's not any really good news. Some really sad news that actually hits me pretty fucking hard here. Ronnie Atkins, the singer.
What about me? That was my top 2 on a cruise.
I know. Sad news for me, like I said, Ronnie Atkins, the lead singer for Pretty Maids, has been diagnosed with lung cancer, and he is going through treatment right now. And he was going to be one of the bands, Pretty Maids was going to be one of the bands on the Monsters Rock Cruise that myself, BC, Chris Granza, Stephen Michael, Sonny Pooney are going on in February of next year. It seems at this point that they will not be playing. They put all the Pretty Made stuff on hold so Ronnie can get his cancer treatment and stuff. We love you. We're really sad to have to pass this along. I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably already heard about this. It sucks. I mean, dude fucking rocks. That is my fucking band. These guys. Pretty Maids is to me like fucking Lizzie Borden is to fucking BC. Wow. What do you think, BC?
I saw this the other day and I was like, fuck. I mean, not only for Ronnie, but just, that was one of the top 2 bands I was looking forward to on the cruise.
I know.
Yeah, Future Worlds is just such a great album. It's just heartbreaking, that this has taken place. But it's crazy how you're dealt the cards that you're dealt. So hopefully he gets through this and gets the right treatment. And
yeah,
we'll be back out.
We're all behind you. The Pretty Maids has an album coming out in November. I have it pre-ordered. So does BC. So, and actually, it's from that Bandware company, BC. So I order mine from Amazon. You order yours from Bandware. We'll see who gets theirs first. Yeah. What do you think, Dylan?
It's always sad to hear this kind of news. No matter if you're really familiar with the artist or not, it's a tragedy to have to deal with this kind of thing. And best wishes go out to him, his family, his band members. Hope all goes well.
Absolutely. All right, let's dispense with the total bad news here right off the bat. Original Cream drummer Ginger Baker has passed away. He was sick for a little while there. He was 80 years old. Cream, Sunshine of Your Love and stuff. Another iconic, classic rock guy passing away. Just another sad deal out there. So I didn't want to not mention him. We don't really talk about Cream on this episode, but those guys were part of the founding fathers of the shit that we listen to.
Yeah, it's an eye opener because you have to think the guys that we grew up listening to were in their 70s. So it's just a part of the world that we live in, and sooner or later you're
sad reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, apparently. Lynch Mob and Dokken are supposedly putting together a tour, and I totally forgot that when we saw, I don't even think we stayed for Dokken at M3 last year, but Lynch Mob last year was supposed to be Don Dokken, Mick Brown, George Lynch, and I'm not sure who was playing bass at the time.
Chris, whatever.
Some other dude. Sorry, other dude.
Chris Granza.
Yeah, that guy. I wasn't heartbroken because John Levin played for Dokken, and he fucking tears it up. And they always do fucking Too High to Fly when fucking John Levin plays. I fucking love that. That's one of my favorite Dokken songs. But be cool to see Lynch Mob, but he didn't say who was going to be singing for Lynch Mob. But my only hope is if this is a tour that Dokken finds another singer.
Wow.
But
what's Don going to do? Just hang out?
He is. He's just gonna. But I mean, like,
he's gonna collect tickets.
I mean, like, seriously, like
he'll play tambourine.
Like in when we saw Dokken, like I want to say 2 or 3 years ago at M3, and Jack Russell came out and sang "Alone Again."
Oof.
That was the best singing of the Dokken show. I mean, I love Don Dokken.
But then there's other times he's good. I mean, it's...
Yeah, you never know what...
I think it's who you're going to get. I think it's which guy you're going to get at the time.
You read a lot about this stuff. A lot of people think it's Dokken, like the original Dokken, get back together and doing this.
It's not. Because even now, Mick Brown's not even fucking playing.
Right.
So you have Don Dokken and John Levin. And seriously, John Levin is a kick-ass fucking guitar player.
Who would drum for Lynch Mob?
And... I don't know.
Go with,
Scott Coogan was the drummer last time we saw them.
It didn't... Jimmy,
but he's fucking drumming for LA Guns now. So
and what's his name? Black and Blue. Jimmy, help me out.
Jimmy DeAndre.
Jimmy DeAndre, yeah.
So
Because it sounds like
it's all very incestuous here with these bands. This,
you never know who you're gonna get.
It's like
the Magic 8 Ball.
Place. Yeah. So what do you think, Don?
what's
Yeah, I think I have to agree about Don's singing voice. It hasn't been up to snuff. The last couple times I've seen him, I have not been impressed.
Yeah. Because Dokken and Lena Ford are playing a show coming up near us, and
later this month, right?
Yeah, later.
And everybody's laughing every.
I think it's October 25th at Jim Thorpe at Penn's Peak.
Everybody's saying Lita Ford should be headlining and Dokken.
I know, if it was reversed, I would go. But as Dokken as the headliner, I don't really have a lot of interest in it. I'm sorry. I feel bad that I feel that way, but and Lita Ford fucking kicking ass. But you're gonna get 40 minutes of Lita Ford and an hour and a half of Dokken. It's just I would hope that Too High to Fly would be like a 30-minute song, you know. You can sing the thing and go the fuck off the stage. And
don't let Steven hear you say.
Yeah, and there was an interview out there put out recently, and the question was put to Vivian Campbell: is the band Last in Line a cash grab? And I think it brings up an interesting question. And Vivian Campbell's like, no. It's he said it's kind of a catharsis for him to get that out, and I think it's fucking great because we've talked about and I think BC said it a couple episodes ago, Vivian Campbell syndrome, where here's a total kick-ass fucking lead guitar player and he's totally fucking wasted in Def Leppard. But now he's out with the as much as the original Dio band as you could get, because Jimmy Bain unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. But you have, Phil Sassoon there. You have Andrew Freeman on vocals, and you have Vinny Appice on drums. I think it's great, and I love seeing those guys play those songs. And with Andrew Freeman on vocals, what I like the most about him is he doesn't try to be Ronnie James Dio. He sings the songs, he does them justice, and he's not trying to out Dio. He just sings them as Andrew Freeman. I like that about them.
How many times have we seen him now? 3? I've seen him 3, I think.
At least.
I've seen them twice. You guys have seen them 3 times.
So I've seen him 3 times, and doing it for the money. Bullshit. I mean,
they are not.
If you see these guys live, they are just having fun. And it's great to go to a show and see a band up there that are actually having fun and not just doing it.
You don't. Yeah. You don't get that as much as you used to.
No, and these guys definitely have fun. So
right,
that claim of doing it for money, bullshit.
And the couple times we saw them down the Sherman down in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, the place isn't big. It's not big at all. So they're not selling out arenas, making billions of dollars.
No, they make it sound like they're making a lot of money on this shit. They give you
a VIP for $50. Come back. Listen to sound check, hang out with the band, have a couple of drinks, we'll sign some shit, take some pictures for $50. You can't beat that. They're not there to make money. It's definitely not a cash grab.
No, it's these guys. They enjoy playing the music they play, and how much more classic can you get than playing the first songs from the first fucking 3 Dio albums?
Right.
There's not much more classic metal out there than that. So we'll leave that where it sits. What do you guys think about that? Let us know. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on if you want to send us an email. Send us potterthanhellpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you guys think. And that's it for the news, and we'll get right back into the show. All right, we're back from the news. BC, you never know what you're going to get. Just crazy news, or not so crazy news. Sometimes happy, sometimes sad. You just never know.
50-50.
50-50.
If we can keep it 50-50.
And actually, some of the news is actually brutal, so that's going to lead us off into your album. So give us your first album for Alice here this week.
For Alice Cooper, I'm going with his 2000 release, Brutal Planet, which is his 14th studio album. And to me, it was very, not unlike Alice, but very heavy. Music-wise, it was a heavier, more, a lot of it was labeled industrial metal. Which I don't think it was that bad.
I don't think so either.
I know what they're saying, like bits and pieces, but
very heavy though. Very heavy for
Alice Cooper, though. But, his time at the band was Ryan Roxy was the guitar. Eric Singer from Kiss was drummer back then. and this guy, Bob
Marlette.
bass, and he produced like tons of like Airborne, Sebastian Bach, Rob Zombie, which after I found that out and listened to it again, you can hear zombie-ish in some of the songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even Blackstone Cherry, like the list of my cousin Tracy Chapman, he produced an album for. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's all over the board. This guy, I never heard of him before, and I guess Phil X played a little guitar. And doesn't really break it down too good of what he did. But for Alice Cooper, it was a little bit more darker side, I guess you could say. I mean, about social,
Like social topics and stuff.
social friction topics and shit. Like, so it opens up with Brutal Planet, which as soon as I heard this the first time, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, you know what to expect for Alice Cooper to the most part, but this was like grindage Alice Cooper.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
And different, like I said, vocals for Alice's darker side, I guess, and then it kicks into Wicked Young Man, which is about school shootings.
Yeah, he's got the blueprint to the school and
Going through all that. This next one is the one I really Sanctuary. Just the beginning of it has that zombie feel to it.
it does it. It chugs right along. You could picture zombies singing this song.
As soon as I went back and listened to it like the third or fourth time, it was like I hear zombie all through this song. Some Talking Alice in it too. Not as good as Dave Mustaine, but some Talking Alice.
Who is?
Blow Me a Kiss is deeper spiritual matters, and it was co-written by Bob Ezrin. You have to like that one.
And there's no kids talking in it either.
There's no kids in this one. Eat some more. I love the guitar riff. All the guitars on this album, the solo one, and Ryan Roxy's still with him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I always get him mixed
He
up.
was gone for a while and then he came back.
And he came back. Okay, that's where I was getting a little bit. Pick Up the Bones. I guess it's about war, and it's a mid-tempo song, and I guess like some of the lyrical pickups in, like pick up the bones, set them on fire, which I don't think you can burn bones.
You got enough gas, you probably could.
I guess. I saw some bones burnt this past week, but not that good. Help me out with this next one. I'm gonna put it up.
Pessimistic.
Thank you. I really dig this solo in this song, and just the shut up. Which takes me to the next one. This is very gimme. Some more spoken Alice in the song, but to me, I hear saliva when I play this song.
Really?
Like early saliva. If you listen to it, if you're thinking back your head, some saliva.
I'm gonna have to think about that next time I hear it. I
I
never
just-
thought of that.
Every time that comes on, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. That's why I write down. It's the little things about psychopathic behavior.
Something we're very familiar with.
So, like, you can make me wrestle naked with the grizzly bear. Some of the lyrics in this album just crack you up, like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And it's not like
Very tongue in cheek.
very ton, but very blended in there. Unless you're listening, you get to like, can you say wrestle naked with the grizzly bear? The ballad on the album would be "Taken Like a Woman" about domestic violence and stuff. I mean, good tune by Alice. Not as good as "Only Women Bleed." And they close out the album with "Cold Machines," which to me is a good, just
Straight ahead.
straight ahead tune. Nothing crazy about that one. But overall, I mean, and then I guess Dragon Town after this
Yeah.
was supposed to be the sequel to
Sequel,
this.
yeah.
But I think that has it's good, but it has a
It's a different vibe.
Total different vibe. Not as heavy.
Not as heavy. It has a more
More polished type
vibe to it.
vibe, yeah.
But overall, I like this.
It had been a while since I listened to all of this album. I, of course, listened to Brutal Planet, Wicked Young Man, and Gimme. Those were the three songs that I knew really well from this album. And I forgot that I knew It's the Little Things as well, because I remember the reference to, like, Welcome to My Nightmare No More, Mr. Night. So it's like two references to two different songs. The thing about this album, all the songs kind of sound the same to me. They blend together a bit in my ear when I'm listening to them. It all seems like one cohesive song with occasional bouts of excitement or things like that. And I don't know. It's enjoyable. I had a good time listening to it, but there wasn't anything that wowed me besides the 3 songs that I knew, and I think that was because I knew them. I do like that the Japanese edition had a bonus track called "Can't Sleep, Clowns Will Eat Me," which is a reference to The Simpsons, because like a young Bart is like rocking back and forth in his bed, and he says, "Can't sleep, clowns will eat me." So that was a nice little reference. But honestly, this album didn't wow me like I thought it was going to on re-listen. They all kind of blend together. They all sound very similar, the songs. And also, Take It Like a Woman is a far inferior version of Only Women Bleed. And I don't know. I feel like he's already done it twice with Only Women Bleed and I Never Cry. You don't need to do it a third time, especially not in 2000.
Third time was not the charm.
Yeah. So it's a good album, but there's nothing that struck me.
No wow factor.
Yeah, no wow factor.
All right. I like this album. I remember when this came out, and I was like, holy shit, is this fucking heavy for Alice Cooper? Because the album before it that came out was The Last Temptation, and it was good, but it was kind of middle of the road for me. But I was just like the initial guitar sound on this album was like, holy fuck, like this is heavy. And actually, even looking back on it now with Ryan Roxie back in the band, like he didn't seem like that heavy of a fucking guitar player. You know, I mean, he seemed more like a guy that would be playing on like his newer stuff now, or something like Trash, or you know what I mean, like someone that would be on an album like that. But this is a heavy goddamn album, and believe me, no insult to Ryan Roxie at all. I love the guitar playing on this. I love the sound, and you're definitely right, BC. It's got a zombie type vibe to it, and I never even thought of that till you said that. But then when you said that, I'm like, wow, that's true. Brutal Planet, grinding start, and I knew like this one, like when this starts out, like it's going to be a heavy album. It's got the it's a good start. The solos in it great. It's got a creepy lead melody in it. The drums are real heavy in it. Wicked Young Man is friggin' just a slamming song. The heaviness continues. I love the pissed offness of the lyrics. It's just a rocker, and I like it too because he brings into it. There's people that are just bad out there. So he's like, don't blame the music that's out there. Don't blame the movies that are out there and the books. Some people are just fucking bad people. And I think he kind of brings that out in this song. Sanctuary is great. I just thought it's kind of like you picture a guy like running down the street looking for Sanctuary. Not the Iron Maiden Sanctuary, mind you, but straight up rocker. I love it. It's it's just bang your fucking head song. The breakdown before the solo is really really cool. The solo is really short, but it's just like good. Couple bars more in it would have been really freaking great, but it's a great short little solo. Blow Me a Kiss, and this kind of changes the pace a little bit in the album, I think. It's got a good like tribal drums in this song, and I think that was a kind of a 90s thing. A lot of bands had that kind of tribal drum kind of feel to some of their songs, and definitely an album of its time. Eat Some More, war song, plotting, very like mid-tempo. It's okay. That one doesn't blow me away. It doesn't blow me a kiss either. And Pick Up the Bones, it's got a really creepy vibe to it. The chorus is very cool. The middle part's very heavy. Very melodic solo in it. Pessimistic, I fucking hate that song. That's a skipper for me. I think it sucks. Gimme, one of my favorite Alice songs. I wish he would bust that back out and play it live. Very heavy guitars in it. I love the background vocals. I love the spoken word. I'm the only one who cares. Like shit like that. It fits the song just perfect. Dave Mustaine, have a conversation with Alice on how to do that shit, okay? Please. You don't need to do it I'm your only friend. I really like the song. A great one live. It's the little things, up-tempo rocker. He used to do this one live on the Brutally Live DVD. He's like, yeah, look at there's all my disobedient children. There's a guy with a Kiss shirt. There's a guy with a Metallica shirt. He's like pointing out people that don't have Alice Cooper shit on. And he's like, it's the little things. And then they do the song. It's a really cool, a little more spoken word in that, but it's done very good, and it's not overdone. You know what I mean? I think it's just enough. Take It Like a Woman, you guys are totally right. Another attempt at Only Women Bleed. Feeble attempt at that. Definitely a skipper for me. And Cold Machines, it gets back into the rocking of the album, I think. and I think it's a good bookend on the album. Start out with the rocker, end with the rocker. Good wrap up, I think, to the album. I enjoyed the album. I don't think Dylan hated it, but I think I enjoyed it way more than he did, because I remember the progression of albums. Listening to The Temptation, I was like, it's good, but then you go from that album that you've been living with for a while for Alice, and then you get this, and you're like, holy fuck, like major step up in heaviness, and that really drew me in right from the beginning. I like it. I thought it was a really good album. I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very cool album to do. What though?
No,
you look like you were going to say something.
No, just listening.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to. We were thinking about doing the Alice live album that came out last year, but we decided against that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an album, and then we're going to do a couple EPs tonight. The first one we're going to do is The Sound of A. Sound of A is a song from the Paranormal album that Alice Cooper had out. I think it was 2018. I think the album came out. 2017. I'm sorry. It's a very. I have no idea why they picked this song for the EP. I don't know. Dylan's shaking his head and BC's shaking his head. We're all shaking our head. I have no idea, because it's not a great song. It was a Record Store Day release though.
Yeah.
And it's on a 7-inch 45. Is it 7-inch 45? Is that what they are? It's not the total big album, but it's not a 45 size. It's like the one in between.
Yeah.
So whatever size that is, that's what it came out on.
Sure.
And I think it's white vinyl actually. And because I just listened to it the other day, and like I said, The Sound of A, I don't know why they did that song on there. I don't really know.
It's co-written by Dennis Dunaway, so maybe that.
Well, I think, you know what? Now that you say that, I think it's one of these songs that he did with the original Alice Cooper band.
Yes.
Sound of A with Michael Bruce and Neil Smith and Dennis. I think they're the ones. So I think that's probably why they picked that. And but it's
Michael Bruce didn't play on that track.
No, okay.
No, he was on track 9.
All right.
It looks like Dennis Dunaway played on it. Johnny Reed was backing vocals on it. Larry Mullen Jr. was drums. Bob Ezrin was organ.
He's the drummer for you too, isn't he?
Nick Divotsky was the guitarist. Yeah, it's the track. The people on the tracks are so crazy.
Diverse, right?
Yeah.
That Larry Mullen, he's the guy for you too, right?
Who's that?
He's the drummer. Larry Mullen, he's the drummer from fucking U2, right?
He's the drummer of U2.
I mean, if you want something to suck, put someone from U2 on it. Sonny Pooney, there you go, buddy. I don't know. I don't know what the rationale was. I mean, they could have did even though I hate them, but I love the song Rats would have been cool. But I don't know. So anyway, that's the song they picked. What do you guys think of that song?
I think it's a weak song, honestly. I think it was the weakest song on that album. I wasn't the biggest fan of the album. I think it's grown on me a bit since my initial reaction last year, or 2 years ago. But this was not a good song to have on the EP. I much preferred the live stuff that was on this EP to the one studio track.
Yeah, this song did not do anything, did not hold my attention.
No, and even on the album, for me, it's a skipper. It's like I'm good.
Like, okay, we ended
after
the album.
Rats. I'm good.
We end the album.
And there's a couple bonus tracks on it. If with actually the bonus tracks have the original members of the Alice Cooper band. But that was just an odd song. I don't know. We'll do side 1, side 2 of this EP. So side 1 was Sound of A. Maybe it's Sound of Ass.
I was going to say that, but I thought it was too mean.
Maybe it's the Sound of Ass.
I was going to say that, yeah.
So then the next song, Black Widow, which is great, and it has the original Vincent Price intro to it, which I think is fucking excellent. If you want another cool version of it, Bruce Dickinson does it on the Alice Cooper tribute album, which is really fucking excellent. Yeah, which is really cool. But it's cool to hear the original Vincent Price one from the movie, and I think it's from the movie.
No, I think that was recorded.
He just did it special?
I think that was recorded special.
Okay. All right.
Let me look that up.
All right. Well, Dylan's looking that up. We'll talk about it, and he could prove me wrong. I'm fucked up on my facts here tonight. But great song. It's just a classic song from the Welcome to My Nightmare album. Amazing rocking version, and the band is just a friggin' chugging machine. It's Alice, Glenn Sobel on drums, Chuck Garrick on bass, Tommy Hendrickson, Nita Strauss, and Ryan Roxy on guitar. Just a friggin' great band. If you guys have a chance to see Alice live, I think he's in Europe now. But if you ever get a chance to see Alice with this amazing band he has now, go see them because it's an amazing band, and this is a great version of Black Widow.
I love this song. I mean, the later versions of it, especially live. Guess how can you go around this song?
He did do it special for the album.
Okay.
And after listening to the Snooze Fest, The Sound of A, the Black Widow woke me right up. It sounds so crisp and clean with this band. It's almost like they were meant to play it. It works so well, and they got the background vocals down perfectly. And
it does. They're just amazing.
It's too short because I'm enjoying
I know.
so much.
I was thinking this would be a song and it'd be good to
extend out,
highlight all three guitar players and each do a good long part in it. You didn't get that, but it's still a great version of it.
Like they used to do with Dirty Diamonds.
Yeah.
Loved that version of Dirty Diamonds.
So boom, we'll flip it over. They do Public Animal No. 9 from the School's Out album, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That's one. I was like, what the fuck album was that for? I had to actually go back and look because I haven't listened to that album in a while. The background vocals are great on it. It's got, the band does it fantastic, but it still has that 70s vibe to it when you listen to it. I think it's really, they really keep it in the pocket of how it was originally performed, but like just that extra.
It's honestly, every track they picked on here is kind of a deep track for someone who's not as familiar with Alice Cooper, and this is the deepest of all of them, I think. And
they got the big shovel out.
Because I usually skip the School's Out album. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. It never hit my ear, but this song is fantastic off of it. So I'm going to have to give it another try if the rest of the songs are
right.
This is indicative of it.
I agree with that. I mean, I think Steve hit it. They keep it original, but with the way the band is now, that the band does now. I mean, they can do any song in his catalog and just make it.
They do, and I kind of wonder how. And I wish that when BB and I did the meet and greet with Nita Strauss, I wish I did, or someone. I wish someone asked her how they pick the songs that they do live. I know they got to do School's Out and blah 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 whatever, you know what I mean. But they've been doing some deep tracks, and they have the band to do it, and I'm sure Alice is just. I mean, no offense, Alice, but he just got to fucking sing. These guys. They got to play this shit. But Nita did say when we did the meet and greet with her, she said that when they get the set list, they'll go back and forth, whether on the phone or emails, of who's going to play what part, and then they get together themselves and the three guitar players and they'll practice who's going to do what, going back and forth and everything.
You should. Can I read off the set list that they've been doing?
Yeah, go ahead.
So. This is from October 2nd, so this is from today? That can't be right.
They're playing now. They're in Europe.
Yeah, that was last night.
Okay,
yeah.
In
Europe,
so they open with Feed My Frankenstein, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Bed of Nails,
wow,
Raped and Freezin', Fallen in Love, Muscle of Love, He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask, I'm 18, $1 Billion Babies, Poison, Nita Strauss guitar solo, Roses on White Lace, My Stars, Devil's Food, which is a band-only jam, Black Widow jam. So there you go. They do jam on it. Steven, Dead Babies, I Love the Dead, Escape. They end the main set with Teenage Frankenstein.
Really?
And then their encores, Under My Wheels and School's Out.
Oh, shit.
That's a fucking crazy set list.
That's a kick-ass set list. But you know what? God, I hate... It's just why don't more bands do this shit?
Teenage
This is the fucking people want to hear. I'm just blown away right now for them. I want to just stop recording and put some of these fucking songs on.
They play 2 songs off of Constrictor.
I know, really, no shit, fucking crazy. All right, we'll just do these next 2 songs. It's My Body and Cold Ethel.
Is It My Body?
Is it?
Is It My Body?
Is
It My Body?
Off of Love
Is It My Body? Okay. I have written down It's My Body, and I know it's not. That's not it. Just a great song from Love It to Death. The solo in it's really good. And the thing is, too, hearing these songs, you don't know who plays what. You know what I mean? I like when you can tell who plays what. Cold Ethel, from another one from Welcome to My Nightmare. Very cool song. It's a great, it's not a metal, it's just like a great rock and roll type song. Very cool. It needs more cowbell. It's got cowbell in it. The solos in it are great. They kind of stretch out a little bit in this song, solo-wise. Very good. I think it's very cool.
Is It My Body? That's my favorite off this. I guess
it is a cool song. It's a very, very fucking cool song.
Yeah, Cold Ethel, I mean, they need Vincent to come out. I mean, sorry. But I love the drum start in that.
That's a good version, though, that he does.
He does. Back then.
Tesla does a good version of "Is It My Body." On the Reel.
On the Reel ones.
Yeah.
And "Cold Ethel" is a fantastic Alice Cooper song. That's always been one of my favorites. And Alice usually has a mannequin on stage when he's doing that song, and he does kind of a tango.
He does the tango with it.
Yeah. Oh, it's like when I listen to that song, I can picture his stage moves for that one, and the wordplay on it is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's a fun song. It's really good.
It is very cool. So that's the Sound of A. Like we said, we don't really know what the rationale for the Sound of A was. Still don't know.
The Sound of A what?
Asshole. So the Sound of Ass, Black Widow, Public Animal number 9. It's Is It My Body? Why do I keep fucking that up?
Yeah,
and
Is It
Cold
My Body?
Ethel. Definitely cool. Making Love by the Refrigerator Light. And you're right, Dylan. There's a really cool play on words there.
Cold Ethel, I'm stuck
from that
on you.
song. Yeah. It's just like getting his tongue froze to the fucking flagpole on Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the fire department. All right, so Dylan, what do you got one for us now? What do you got?
Okay, so I originally planned to do an awesome album, Killer. It's a fantastic album, and we will absolutely cover it someday. But I decided to go a little more prolific, an album that's a little more critically praised, and people seem to consider it as the best album. But it's an album that I never really got into, so I thought it would be nice to revisit it on the show. I decided to go with Billion Dollar Babies, released in 1973. It was recorded in a couple different places, in Connecticut, New York City, and London. And it's produced by Mark Anthony Kaye's favorite producer, Bob Ezrin.
Yes.
So this is an Alice Cooper band album. So it has the original Alice Cooper band, of course, Alice on lead vocals, Glenn Buxton on guitar, Michael Bruce on rhythm guitar, keyboards and backing vocals, Dennis Dunaway on bass, Neil Smith on drums. Steve Hunter does guitar solos on a couple different songs. Dick Wagner does some guitars.
He was Bob Ezrin's. They were his guys.
Yeah. So you have kind of a murderer's row of classic Alice
Mark Bolan
collaborators. Yeah. And some of it shows, some of it doesn't. But we'll go through the track list and see what we come up with. So the first song that's on there is a cover, technically, Hello Hooray. It was written by Rolf Kemp, and it was recorded previously by Judy Collins. This version, they Alice it up a bit. I remember the first time I heard this song, I was confused because it didn't sound like an Alice Cooper song to me. Because I had always heard, School's Out, I had heard all these different songs, and it didn't sound like an Alice Cooper song to me. But now I really like it as an opener. It's I love the opening guitar. It sounds kind of haunting. Like it's trying to be nice, but there's a bit of a sinister edge to it for some reason. Alice's vocals are a lot cleaner than I expect from him, but I think it's different, and I like it a lot. Raped and Freezing comes next. Pretty good song, never my favorite. Elected, I hate how it's produced. I hate how the sound is mixed on it. I like the song itself, but it's just so, it feels like they push the speakers back 1,200 yards or something, because I was like, did my headphones go down? Did I accidentally turn the volume down? I don't like how that's produced. Billion Dollar Babies was always my least favorite song that Alice would play live, but I like it on this listen too. I don't know if it was because I had headphones in or I was expecting to really not like it, but I enjoyed it a little more this time. It's a live staple. Love it or hate it, he'll always play it. He'll flash them. He'll throw the money from the sword. So it's good. The song that surprised me was Unfinished Suite. I had not heard this song before. I really enjoyed it. It's the longest song on the album, but it has a little cool jam in the middle there. I love the bass sound in it. Dennis Dunaway's bass sounds really cool in it. I was pleasantly surprised that this kind of song was on there, and I think it was the perfect song to end side 1. And then side 2 ends with probably the best song on this album, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Still sounds awesome to this day. whether it's live, studio, it's a song I could put on at any time and just be in it and remember how good the song is. Generation Landslide, I was never a fan of it. I know your boys, Lizzie Borden, covered it. Didn't like that version as much, but it's a cool little different song. It's a little quieter and stuff like that. Sick Things is okay. It's nothing to write home about. Same with Marianne, a little piano. There's a bit of ragtime in there. But then I Love the Dead is absolutely the most Alice Cooper of all the songs. It has the creepy I Love the Dead. And they do that to resurrect Alice at the shows when he gets killed. The band will play it, and Chuck will start singing, and get the crowd singing. They never do the full song. They just do the chorus.
It's where the dude spit the blood out in fucking Camden and got my mouth.
Yeah. But I think it's
still want to fucking throw up.
I think it's a perfect song to end the album. The album's a bit of a mixed bag. I think it works as a cohesive unit. I think everything flows pretty well together. But individual songs, a lot of it's lackluster. The songs that are good are fantastic. They're great. Some of Alice's best, but there's a lot of low points in the album, I think, as well. And I just want to talk about the tour real quick, because some of these numbers were crazy. They employed 40 to 50 people to haul 26,000 pounds of equipment. They had 2 semi-truck trailers that had props that included a dentist drill, 4 whips, a surgical table, 6 hatchets, 33,000 program books, 300 baby dolls, 22,000 sparklers, 58 mannequins, 28 spare light bulbs, 1,000 patches, 6,000 mirror parts, 14 bubble machines, 28 gallons of bubble juice, and 250,000 packages of bubble bath.
So and this is 1973.
Yeah, this is the tour.
That's a lot of shit to take now.
Yeah, the tour was expected to get to close like $20 million, but only $4 million they earned, which is interesting. They had 64 concerts in 59 days and 59 cities in 90 days. That's a pretty fast tour.
That's a grind.
Yeah,
that's a freaking grind
for all that equipment and shit.
That's crazy.
But $1 Billion Babies.
What do you think, BC?
$1 Billion Babies. I mean, this is early Alice, so I'm not as familiar, except for of course, the classic ones that you hear all the time, which I'm kind of ruined now listening to this version after hearing how many times you've seen Alice live.
Yeah.
But the first one, I was not familiar with that. I didn't even know it was covered until now. Raped and Freezing, early Alice sound. Electric is a classic. $1 Billion Babies, another classic one. Unfinished Suite. I love the bass line, like you said.
Yeah.
To me, that stood out. No More Mr. Nice Guy, classic Alice. Generation Landslide, kind of acoustic feel on this version. Lizzie Borden a little bit better. And the Sick Things did not do nothing, and Marianne did not do nothing, of course. How can you not love I Love the Dead?
Yeah. All right. $1 Billion Babies for me. I got fucked up on this because when we were talking about which albums we were going to do, I had Killer written down, and I listened to Killer for like a month. And then I said, Dylan, I said this one part. I said, I like this one part in the one song. And he's like, what song? And I told him, he goes, that's not $1 Billion Babies or something like that. I'm like, wait, what? He said, I picked $1 Billion Babies. And then I look back at my thing, and I had Killer written down, but then I crossed it out and I had $1 Billion Babies. So I had to crunch time and throw this on. So I listened to it quite a bit, though. And Hello Hooray, like, I don't know, like the first like 2 times I'm like, this like sucks. But then I was like,
sucks.
Then it kind of grew on me a little bit. It's growing on me. It's got like, kind of like a triumphant start to it a little bit, like ta-da, here we are kind of thing. Raped and Freezing, it's got a good groove to it. Didn't BB pick this song for some fucking episode that we had?
Maybe. I think so.
I don't remember what. And like, what is that at the end? Is that like a marimba at the end of this? It's
there's
like a cha-cha thing or some like kind of fucking thing at the end?
Yeah, it has because they're talking about going down to Mexico.
Yeah. It's got that kind of like, you know,
a Spanish flair to it.
Like not merengue,
like
but like whatever the fuck. Yeah, like a cha-cha thing going on there. Elected, you know, classic song live. That's the one that he gets out of the Alice Cooper and gets into the Alice Cooper where he goes off stage and he comes back out with the white tux on and the white top hat and the cane. It's okay. I was never a huge fan of this song. $1 Billion Babies. It's cool. It's got a creepy theme to it, if you will. The drums in this are great. I love the dun, 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 dun. I really love the drums in this one. I like the bad moon rising in the sky, but then you can hear that the talking underneath
like
it,
that
like
echoey
it
kinda,
sounds really. I really like that effect on there. So I'm gonna give Bob Ezrin the thumbs up on that part. The guitar work is great on this song, and there's cool solos in this song, and I like at the end when he goes, "Billionaire baby," like real fucking loud. I'm like, that's cool. That's one part I always kind of like rewind and go back to. The outro solo is really cool on that. Definitely a classic Alice song for a reason. Unfinished Suite. This has kind of a like the din 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 din, like a police story or police something like a. It reminds me of a police TV show in the 70s.
Oh, like the gun, like the Peter Gunn theme.
Yeah. It kind of has that kind of feel to it. That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of the name of it. And there's a James Bond theme in there.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I'm like this is a fucking James Bond song. Like, come on, dudes, let's go here, which is kind of cool. And it's weird that it's thrown in there. And it does, even at a 6-minute and 20-second minute song. It still does. It sounds unfinished. Like if you listen to that song, you're like, I don't think it wraps up good. It kind of sounds like they needed to do some kind of different ending to it. So I think it's kind of a cool title for it. I don't know how sweet it is, but I definitely think it's unfinished.
Well, it's about a trip to the dentist's office.
Oh, was that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
According to Wikipedia.
So maybe it was stuck in their tooth or something like that, and they had to maybe finish it after the dentist dug it out of their tooth. No More Mr. Nice Guy. Dylan, you're totally right. Love this song. Classic Alice. This is a song that I would be disappointed if Alice didn't play when you see him live, because it's so cool. Reverend Smith, you recognize me, punch me in the nose. I just love the lyrical content on this song. Nice guy. And it's great music. Yeah, it's great musically, but like the lyrics like really make this song. I really think it's fucking great. Generation Landslide, da 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 da, and all I hear BC is Lizzie Borden doing this song when I fucking hear it.
Damn right, bitches.
And that's why it sucks. No, I'm like kidding. I actually like this one. It's got a cool groove to it, and like I seriously like I just hear Lizzie Borden singing this song because it was on the Devil one, right?
Deal with the Devil.
Deal with the Devil. You're lucky you knew that, fucker. I like it, but I like the cadence in the verses, how he sings it, and the just how it kind of goes along. I really like that. Sick Things is fucking terrible. I think it sucks. I'm not a fan of that. That's definitely a fucking skipper for me. Marianne, listen to the song. Is this Paul McCartney singing this fucking song? Listen to the vocals in it. I'm like this sounds like it could be on like a fucking Wings album. And I'm like, it doesn't belong on this fucking Alice Cooper album.
Alice
and then it
started out as like kind of a Beatles.
No, I know, but like this song reminds me of like if you were watching an old Western movie and they went to like a saloon, like this music would be fucking playing in there.
Yeah, it has the player piano.
Yeah,
like ragtime type of
this
feel.
song would be playing in there, and Paul McCartney would be singing there. And I love the Dead.
Walking in and Paul McCartney's on the piano.
I love the Dead. Probably one of the most creepy Alice songs, but like this is the Alice song on this album. Definitely the Alice song, the Great Guillotine song. I think it's kind of a cool way to wrap up the album. I think kind of fades and then you're like, wow, that was like really weird how that ended. A cool album. After I listened to Killer so much, I definitely prefer Killer to this album, but it was cool, and I hadn't listened to this whole album in years. I mean, in just like fucking years and years, I haven't listened to this album. But I thought it was pretty cool. It was cool to go back and delve into a couple songs I hadn't really heard before. Raped and Freezing. I guess I don't know what BB picked. I know BB picked that song for something. I don't know if it was the song, the one we did with Digital or something.Maybe I don't know. But I know that he picked that song for something. It was cool. I enjoyed it. It was cool going back and checking this album out, hearing some shit that I hadn't really checked out before. And a lot of deep tracks there, you guys. So get into this album. Let us know what you think. And there's something we're going to talk about later on that just like totally fucking blows my mind. And but that's it. So we have Brutal Planet from BC. We have Sound of Ass EP second. And then we did $1 Billion Babies for Dylan.
Only one of the songs on that EP sounds like
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Don't be dissuaded by that. And I don't even know if
price of admission.
I don't even know if you could still even get that because it was a record store
It's a
day
record store
thing.
day.
I mean, I have it.
You could stream it, but getting it.
Yeah, I wonder. I'll have to look on eBay, see if we can still get that, see how much it's worth. I'm not that I would get rid of mine, but it's on white vinyl. It's actually kind of cool. So with that, we'll take a quick break. And our break song this week is going to be the song Can You Feel from Devil's Train. It's from the Devil's Train 2 album. This song fucking kicks ass. This band is fucking excellent. They have 2 albums out. First one's self-titled Devil's Train. Second one is a really original title, Devil's Train 2. But the song is called Can You Feel? This song fucking rips. It's fucking excellent. You can definitely find it on Apple Music. You can find it on wherever you can stream. Check these guys out, Devil's Train. They're still working on their 3rd album, so God only knows when that'll be out. But the 2 albums they have out are totally friggin' kick-ass hard rock. Check them out. Devil's Train, Can You Feel?
Yes, I can feel, yes, I can dream with sadness in my heart. Yes, I can cry, yes, love and die forever you deny. Still in my heart, I feel the coldness of your soul, yeah. Every day you roll and dies. For this love I pay the price. Two lovers in the storm of fire, yeah. Can you feel a blackness in my heart? No, no, no. Can you feel the sadness of my heart, baby? Can you feel my pain? Can you hear the whisper of my soul night? Can you feel that? It's black and white, it's day or night. It's time for you now to decide. Yes, I am here, yes, no more fear. I never ever disappear. Can you hear my silent scream? Can you realize, yeah, everything I do, yes, I do for you. Open my love and true. Two lovers in the storm of fire, yeah. Can you feel a blackness in my heart? No, no, no. Can you feel the sadness of my heart, baby? Can you feel my pain? Can you hear the whisper of my soul night? Can you feel that? Can you feel the sadness of my heart, baby? Can you feel my pain? Can you hear the whisper of my soul night? Can you feel that?
All right, kids, after our break, that great song that we just listened to, we are going to do our hidden gems, and I'm going to kick it off this week. And I'm going to, this is going to be kind of a different gem for me. Last week, I did I did Shout Out Loudcast, I believe, was my gem for last week.
Yeah.
And those guys are fucking awesome. And you may be hearing a little bit more from these guys coming up pretty soon. But this week I'm gonna do an app. Is going to be my gem this week. It's called the Hairball John Radio app, and it's fucking excellent. It's if you're familiar with Sirius XM at all, it's a great mix between Hair Nation and Ozzy's Boneyard. There's some of the songs you would expect to hear on some of them songs. Actually, we were when we took a break here, as soon as I put it on, Kick and Fight from Brittany Fox was on, and then All She Wrote from Firehouse came on next. And here's some of the stuff that just came up on the app. Larger Than Life from Lita Ford. Here you go, BC. Through These Eyes from Spread Eagle. The Real Me from Wasp. Ready to Strike from King Cobra. Don't Get Mad, Get Even from Helix. Enough's Enough, New Thing. Just great shit. Prisoner from Doc and Stone Cold from Rainbow. That's Not Enough from Slaughter. So it's Hairball John Radio. It's an app that's available for iPhones. It's available for Androids. It's really cool, and it's a free app. You don't have to pay for it. It's commercial free. So check it out. Hairball John Radio. It's an app. Go to your app store, however you get your apps. I have no idea how you do it, because sometimes I wonder how I do it myself. But check it out. So it's a great mix of hard rock and metal, and there's a lot of deep tracks on there. So definitely check it out. And I've been enjoying it I think it came out like last week or the week before, and it's just excellent. So I hope you guys out there will delve into that. And if you do, give them a shout out on Facebook, and give us a shout out there too. What do you got, Dylan?
So actually, I just did like 12 audibles. But I think what I'm going to settle on is a documentary.
Ooh. Okay.
It's a documentary about Alice Cooper. It's called Super Duper Alice Cooper. Came out in 2014. It covers Alice's career from the beginning of the Alice Cooper band to up through, I believe, the late 80s. I want to say, like, after 1986 is when it stops. But it's a really cool look at Alice's life and career, and the fracturing of the Alice Cooper band, and him struggling to find his identity, and his battles with addiction. Really cool format of it. It's a different type of documentary, I think.
It's Sam Dunn, right?
It is Sam Dunn, yes. He directed it and produced it. So he's done some pretty cool stuff.
He's done the Rush one. He did the Evolution of Metal.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, Flight 666. So definitely the guy's got some cred. So check it out. Absolutely.
And they got a bunch of important people like interviewed. Of course, Alice, Dennis Dunaway, Neil Smith, Shep Gordon, Alice's manager for a long time, Wayne Kramer, Iggy Pop, Bob Ezrin, and most interestingly, Bernie Taupin and Elton John. So,
really?
Yeah.
Well, they were all of that era too. So
yeah. The two awesome collaborators together. But it's a really good documentary. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys will too if you want some more insight into Alice Cooper.
All right, cool. BC, what do you got for us today? BC's he's got the wow factor right now.
No wow.
Oh, come on.
It's October, so, shock month, spooky month.
I know exactly who you're going to say.
We're talking about Alice Cooper, so let's talk about another spooky band. Typo Negative. I mean, I've been just got their box set. I took the plunge and got it.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were fucking gonna.
I could have said no. But it's off 1993, and a lot of people, I mean, it's an acquired taste. But after 1993, played the Kisses album. It's called We Hate Everyone. To me, it's the most commercialized song you're going to hear off of.
Is that Whoa, 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 Whoa?
Yeah. And drum like
Is that that one? Is that the one? BB hates that fucking album.
He hates it. Oh,
We Hate Everyone, and he hates that album.
He hates the whole album. But to me, it's the most mainstream Typo Negative song you're ever going to get, I think. You could throw it on the radio, and people would get into it, I think. If you did tell them it's Typo Negative.
Okay.
But check it out.
All right. So from me, we have the Hairball John Radio app. Seriously, guys, check it out if you like good hard rock and metal. Check it out. Deep Tracks is fucking excellent. BC's got, we'll even throw in your box set. He's got the Typo Negative box set, and the song "We Hate Everyone" from Bloody Kisses. Sorry, BB, but I like it too. And Dylan's got the Alice Cooper, Super Duper Alice Cooper documentary from Sam Dunn and the gang. Which covers them from probably 1969 when the band was formed to 1986, which was when he was regaining his throne.
Getting back on the horse.
I will say so. And speaking of Alice Cooper, we'll get back to the show, and we're gonna do another EP right now, and Dylan's gonna talk about it.
So Alice came out with an EP last month, September 13th to be exact. It was called Breadcrumbs and described by the label as a tribute to the garage rock heroes from his hometown Detroit City. And it was released, there's I think 20,000 numbered 10-inch vinyls. And it's a mix of some new songs and some covers. The covers are covers of MC5, Suzi Quatro, and Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. So the track listing goes Detroit City 2020, which I think is the best song on here. It's a real toe tapper. It's fantastic.
Good feel.
Go Man Go, which is okay. It didn't thrill me. The repetition of saying the title over and over kind of got on my nerves, but the instrumentals are pretty cool. East Side Story, little play on words there, is pretty good too. They're good Alice songs. I'll say they're not his best work ever.
Well, that's a Bob Seger song.
Yeah, is it?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't listed in the credits. I guess I was wrong. And I probably should say that some of the people that were on the album with Alice are MC5's Wayne Kramer, Paul Randolph, the jazz singer, the former Grand Funk Railroad member Mark Farner, and then ex-Detroit Wheels drummer Johnny B. Bedanchik, and Mick Collins as well. And back to the track listing, Your Mama Won't Like Me, which is the Suzi Quatro song. Pretty cool. I actually can kind of see Static in the Attic covering this song too. It has that funk feel to it that I really liked. Devil with the Blue Dress / Chains of Love, cool little song. Little fast-paced type of thing. They're songs that I would almost see. It's almost like a sequel to what's that one album he did that was basically like a swing album, like something in Lace or Lace and Whiskey. That where he's kind of like a 20s type of mobster type of deal in that album. These songs would fit pretty well within that wheelhouse. And then Sister Ann ends the album. I mean, it's a good EP. I like the original songs more than I like the covers, honestly. Detroit 2020 probably being the one that stuck out to me the most. I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about it from my perspective with this one. I think I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I like it. I think it's fun. I really think it's fun. It's 6 songs, so it's pretty quick listen. Detroit City, actually, that's Alice is covering himself. That's his Detroit City. It's actually the one on this is Detroit City 2020, and the original Detroit City song was on the 2003 Eyes of Alice Cooper album, which is fucking fantastic. It's got an updated sound. The production's really good on it. It's got a cool dual solo on it. It's a fun song. I really like it. Go Man Go. It's okay. The soloing is really good on that song though. East Side Story, and I believe it's a Bob Seger song because it's all Detroit people, and there is an East Side Story song from Bob Seger. So I really like this one. It's my favorite song on the album. It reminds me of Glorious because that down, 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 down. I think it's a great song. It's got a great groove to it. The solo's excellent in it, and it's got a really cool sound to it. I think it's a great like a rock and roll song. Fucking excellent. Your Mama Won't Like Me, the Suzi Quatro song, really funky, way better than the Suzi Quatro version of it. It's like definitely an updated thing, and it absolutely has that Motown sound to it. Great sounding song. Devil with the Blue Dress, Chains of Love. This one is like so Motown to the max also. Great groove in it. And I love the transition into Chains of Love. But it's not long enough, though. I wish it was longer at the end. It's because it gets into the groove in it is more up-tempo towards the end. Really cool. Sister Ann, the MC5 song. Great up-tempo. It's a great rock and roll song. There's a harmonica solo in it. I don't know if Alice plays it or not. But there's like a back and forth between the harmonica and the guitar in the song. I think it's really cool. Way better than the MC5 versions. Like fucked up. It's compared to this. It's a really cool updated version of this song. And if you're looking for some fun, Alice Cooper. If you want a little break from the sick things and I Love the Dead and all that kind of shit, definitely a fun vibe to this EP. I think it's great, and there's no shitty songs like The Sound of Ass on this one. It's fucking excellent. I really enjoyed it. What do you think, BC?
I enjoyed this one too. Detroit City 2020. As soon as that comes on, it just has that good feel to it. I don't know how to explain it any other way than that.
It's got the vibe.
It has a good vibe to it. Go Man Go, meh. The group vocals stand out, and I like the guitar solo on that one. East Side Story, another good tune. Your Mama Won't Like Me. I never heard this before, but like you guys said, very funkish, if that's a word.
Funko-matic.
And Devil with the Blue Dress On, to me, I've heard this song a million times. I love it for some reason. This is like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Updated?
No. It's I like it, and it's not really hard rock or anything. Because you go to bike weeks anywhere in this country, and bands always play a song.
Oh, yeah?
With the blue dress. Yeah, it's hysterical. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh shit! And Sister Ann,
it's got a good vibe. It's got a cool vibe to it.
It's very, like you said, Motown-ish. And I don't know why we go to throughout the years going to all these bike events, bands always cover that song. That and Black Betty or whatever. Black Betty.
I fucking hate that song. I fucking hate that.
Every band plays that song too. To finish out with Sister Ann, to me, I was not very familiar with the original one either, but I liked it. Like you said, it's a departure from the I Love the Dead and the typical Alice. Just fun. And I liked it.
It is. It's fun. I think it's I don't know if this is even the funnest one that we listened to over this little thing. The most fun. There you go. Sorry, but I love the vibe to it. I listened to this the first time, and actually I have it ordered on vinyl. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, and I can't wait to spin this because it's actually a limited amount that they're selling. I think it's like 5,000.
It's 20,000.
Huh?
20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what
they think they're going to sell 20,000 of this fucking thing?
That's what the article says. It's 20,000.
So the one I'm going to get is probably 18,621.
Yeah, 20,000 numbered.
Oh. All right, well, so after I get this next week, I'll report back to what number I got because it should be here tomorrow. So we're recording this today. It's October 2nd, so it should be here October 3rd tomorrow. So I'll be opening it actually the next day because I have to work tomorrow. But I will report back and tell you what number it is. So I hope it's a little lower than 18,621. So yeah, check that out. You can stream it if you don't want to buy it. So just definitely check it out. All right, time for the last album. It's going to be mine this evening, and I picked the 1987 Raise Your Fist and Yell album, which is Alice's 10th friggin' solo album, which is crazy at this time. And the guys in the band at the time, Alice, we have Kane Roberts on guitar, Rambo on guitar, if you will, the Incredible Hulk playing guitar, Kip Winger on bass, Paul Taylor on keyboards, and Ken Mary on drums, BC.
Ken Mary, baby.
Ken Mary, current drummer Flotsam and Jetsam. We know him from Chastain, TKO. We know him from House of Lords. Just a fantastic drummer, and it's the only album that Ken Mary was on. But I really like this album. I think it's great. It's produced by Michael Wagner, which this is the guy in the 80s for producing stuff. I think it's great. Robert Englund, better known as Freddy Krueger, I won't say sings on this album, but he's a guest on Lock Me Up. It's very cool, and I'll get into that in a minute here. But I really enjoyed this album. We were going to do this album, this episode. I had it narrowed down to 2 or 3, And BC picked Brutal Planet, so I'm like, okay, that one's out. And then I'm like, I definitely got to pick Razor Fisted Yell, because I remember when I picked this up, I got it on CD. I think the cover is kind of fucking hideous. It's the fist coming up with Alice's face in the fist. It's kind of fucking stupid. But and actually, I just picked it up on vinyl. But it's a cool album. I really enjoy it. Even for an album in '87, I don't mind the production on it. Of course, it's Michael Wagner, so it's really cool. Starts off with Freedom, great start. The drums come right in. The background vocals are great. The solo's great in it. Kane Roberts just tears it up on this fucking album. There's a lot of great guitar solos on this album. Lock Me Up. Cool drums in the beginning. Freddy Krueger gets the Alice Cooper, you have been accused of mass mental cruelty. How do you plead? Guilty. You get just a great rocking song. I fucking love it. Kane Roberts totally fucking tears it up on this song. I love the gang vocals on this song. Just a really great 1-2 punch there. Freedom and Lock Me Up is great. Give the Radio Back is a little poppier, I think. Good tempo on the song. The guitar fills are fucking excellent on this. He tears it up, just those little parts in between the verses. Good solid song. I enjoy that one. Stomp on You, it's got the stomping riff. I can kind of see Scott Ian from Anthrax stomping around the stage to this song. It's just okay though. I don't really go crazy for this song. The solo's pretty cool. A song against drugs. His buddy's on drugs. He wants to fucking stomp on him. Not That Kind of Love is okay. It's kind of one of the weaker tracks in the album, I think. I like the pre-chorus on it. The solo is really, really good on it, though. Kind of saves the song for me. Prince of Darkness, I don't know. I could kind of live without this song, but there's a great tempo behind the guitar solo in it, and the solo tears it up in this. So that's another one that kind of saves the song for me. Time to Kill, mid-tempo song, pretty good. It's got a cool sounding chorus in it. The solo's really good in it. A very melodic solo in this song, which I think is totally fitting for the song. Now we get into Alice's kind of continuation from Constrictor, of the kind of slasher film type thing that he had going. And you had Freddy Krueger in the beginning of the album, but now you have a Chop Chop Chop, cool start. Like I said, slasher song, very cool. I think it's a great prowling song for Alice to be prowling around the stage. It's short though. It's got some spoken word in it. I like the end, and the tempo kind of picks up. I know her, and it's M-A-R-Y, and then it goes Gale, and then it goes into Gale. Really spooky little kind of. And this Chop 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 and Gale is kind of just one song, kind of squeezed together there. Very old Alice sounding type, but I could picture this being a King Diamond song too, Gale. The way that he kind of does the Gale. I can picture King Diamond doing that, which is not a bad thing for me. Roses on White Lace, the ender to the song, great rocking ender. It's got a weird vocal effect on this song, I think, that I don't really care for it too much, but it's just weird. And the outro solo on the song is just excellent. And that's the closing track on there. Excellent song. It's not a long album. It's only 37 minutes essentially. Gets you in and out. Gets you a good little punch of Alice there. Some great soloing in it. The musicianship on this is fucking excellent. The production I think is really good, and it's a fun album. It's not crazy or like real crazy Alice shit, but it's a good album of its time, I think, and I really enjoyed checking this album out.
Raise Your Fist and Yell. So this one, I had not listened to in a very long time, and let me tell you, this is not the album that is the outlier to the statement 80s Alice is best Alice, because this album rocks, and it proves the theory that his work in the 80s is so good. I mean, just look at the opening track, Freedom. Really good sing-along song. Freedom. I love the gang vocals in it. And you said a song reminds you of Scott Ian. The Freedom kind of reminds me of a vocal that Scott Ian would do. Okay,
I could see that.
But
or hear that.
Yeah, Kane Roberts, his guitar work on this album is stellar. I always picture him on the stage with the with the sleeveless shirt.
And he had the machine gun guitar, too.
Machine gun guitar.
So he really did look like fucking Rambo up there.
There's not a song on this I disliked. I thought Prince of Darkness was cool. I know that you weren't a big fan of it. And funnily enough, it was the movie John Carpenter movie. It was based off of that. And he was Alice Cooper had a little cameo in that movie.
I forgot to mention that.
But I think Donald Pleasance was in that movie. Pretty sure. I think he was the main guy in there. Of course, Donald Pleasance. You all know who that is.
Halloween.
Yep. Well, he was also Blofeld.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But this is a stellar album. I don't have any complaints about this album. Front to back is fantastic. Alice's performance in it is great. I love the Freddy Krueger cameo from Robert Englund. Really cool. It's cool that he got the cameo on an Alice album, and Alice played his father, and I think Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. But this album is fantastic.
And I will say way better than the Vinnie Vincent song that's in the Love Kills.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah. Well, it's Alice compared to Vinnie.
True. That's true. And one thing before I let BC get into it, and Roses on White Lace, that was a song that was busted out live on this last tour.
And like I said, it was on this recent set list.
Fucking excellent. I mean, like I think I'd shit like a fucking brick if they played this when I saw it. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. Cool. What do you think, BC?
That's ridiculous. Again, I forgot how good this album was. I mean, I probably haven't listened to this in years. Like you said, just
raise your fist and yell, BC.
Raise your fist and yell. But it starts off with the classic '80s guitar and drums for Freedom. And it goes into Lock Me Up as to me, I had like a Priest feel start. I like the solo on that one. Give the radio back. That's very radio-ish to me.
Do you think that has like a Priest turbo feel to it?
A little bit.
Okay. Now that you said that, I was thinking that a little bit.
As soon as I heard Priest, give radio back. It's very radio-ish. I think it's probably
still good.
80-ish. Step on You. I love the heavy start. Not that kind of love. Backing vocals. I like the backing vocals in the solo. Prince of Darkness. I mean, the guitar solo stands out in that song. Time to Kill. I love the solo on that one. The Chop Chop Chop. That's very old school Alice, like you said, and I like it. And it goes into Gale, which Gale didn't do nothing for me. And Roses on White Lace is probably my favorite. Just the guitar and drums.
And one thing that kind of, after listening to this a couple times, you can hear the Winger background vocals. You could hear the core of Winger singing the background vocals on this album.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because I think Kip did like one more album with Alice after this, which was Trash. I think this was either the last or second last one that the Kip Winger.
I think it was the last one.
The Kip Winger did with them.
This is the last
yeah,
one.
it was. But like you could hear that. I think you could really hear that.
Oh no, it was the second last. So Trash was the last.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And actually, well, yeah. Now that I see that, okay.
Because he had vocals on track 10.
Vocals, yeah.
Yeah, he had vocals on.
So,
Trash.
but I mean, like overall, that was like the last main
Bass.
album that he
was the
played on
last
the whole thing.
bass album.
But like you could hear that background in there, and I was just thinking before, like just the amount of material that Alice has out. When their first album, Prettiest for You, came out in 1969, right? And they did, between there and 1973, they had fucking 7 albums out. That's just crazy. 1 in 69, 1 in 70, 2 in 71, 1 in 72, and 2 in 73. That's crazy fucking output. That's just insane. Like you would never see that now from anybody. Even the dudes playing in the garage up the fucking street wouldn't have that many things out in that long amount of time. But just such a great artist, and he's like, and I've said it before, he reminds me of like, but I don't know if it's him or his management. I'm gonna say it's more Alice. He's surrounded with talent all the time. Like he's always has a crushing band, especially now. And I'm so glad that he added that. Like he had Orianthi in the band before Anita Strauss is there. Anita Strauss is in there now. She's just absolutely fucking amazing, an amazing guitar player, and I will say even more an amazing person. After meeting her and talking with her briefly, when we did the meet and greet, and I actually got a minute to talk back and forth, like just her and I, just for like a minute or so. Just a super, super good person, really cool, down to earth, just like, and she's sacrificed like fucking like her life for this music. Like she said, she never went to like her proms or anything like that. She was always playing guitar. She didn't do her prom. She didn't go to college. She was in it for the music, and she's with her boyfriend Josh now, who's the drummer in her solo band. And like she said, she was like the longest time like no boyfriend, no nothing, no social life. It was just gigging and playing everywhere and doing everything she could, playing with bands and shit like that. And I'm glad it's finally paying off for her, because she's an amazing talent. Like I said, an amazing person. And like his band now, Glenn Sobel on drums, fucking amazing. Just a great drummer, and he's a cool drummer to watch too. Like you watch him drum, like some drummers are boring to watch. Like, I'm sorry, Herman Rarebell, Scorpions, like, and he was drumming for MSG the last time we saw them. He's good, but he's fucking boring to watch. It's just like watching Charlie Watts up there, fucking stand. You know what I mean? Just you know, but like, but he's not overly. You know, he's not a Zoltan Chaney where he's jumping up on the fucking, you know, cymbals and smashing them and shit like that. But good, solid drummer, good to watch. Ryan Roxy's been with Alice for a long time. He was with him for a while, then he was gone for a while, and he came back. You know, and after Damon Johnson was in the band, he came back. Tommy Hendrickson, who's been his steady guy through all this stuff, because even when Alice does the Hollywood Vampire stuff, Tommy Hendrickson is still one of the guitar players in that band. And he still does all that stuff. Now you got Anita Strauss thrown in there. Chuck Garrick has been with him for a fucking long-ass time. And he's just got a great machine there. Although the only thing I don't understand is when he did Paranormal, like, the touring band does not play on that album. I don't... Tommy Henderson plays on there.
I think Tommy Henderson
plays on there. But the band doesn't play on there. And that's another thing that I wish that I asked Anita Strauss. But I mean, she would probably just say, well, that's up to, they call Alice the boss. Because when she signed my album, she said, I had her sign the live album, Paranormal Live, that they came out with last year. And she signed it, and she signed on the bottom, she said, I'm going to leave that open so the boss can sign it for you. So, like, that's what they call him, because she referenced Alice like several times during her meet and greet as the boss. So I would like to know.
He's boss man.
Yeah, I would like to know why the touring band was not on that album.
Did somebody ask her how long does it take Alice to put on his makeup?
How long does it take Alice to put the makeup on? No. And now you got me fucked up now. But then I was thinking about it too. When Alice does this, Chuck Garrick has Beasto Blanco. Nita was doing her own thing. I don't know if Glenn Sobel has any extra stuff, and I know Ryan Roxy has a solo album that he had out like last year or the year before. So maybe that was like the band's break, and Alice had all these studio guys come in. But you know, like, because like some of the people that played on the Paranormal album, Alice, Tommy DeAnder, which I know that name from somewhere. Larry Mellon Jr., the guy from U2, except for Sound of Ass, the songs are good. Roger Glover plays on there from Deep Purple. Billy Gibbons, Dennis Dunaway's back on there. Steve Hunter comes back for something. So there's a bunch of different people that played on there, but I don't know what the reasoning is. I would love to have Alice do an album with this touring band. I think it would be absolutely fucking amazing.
They're all really solid.
You know, I mean, imagine that. Imagine like, you know, we've heard the Nita Strauss stuff. I've heard the Ryan Roxy live or solo album, which is really good. Tommy Hendrickson is solid because he's been with the Hollywood Vampires with him too. Chuck Garrick, Beasto Blanco. I would love to hear what a collaboration of this band making an album would be. I think it would be fucking amazing.
Because they have really good live chemistry. I think they work as a cohesive unit live.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be interesting to see how it translates to studio.
Very smooth.
Yeah, and
They
you
all
watch
seem
them,
to really
and
like
everybody
each other.
has their chance in the spotlight too.
Yeah.
It looks like
I mean,
they're-
Nita has a solo,
Yeah.
but like they all
Yeah.
have their own parts
But
of the
even
show.
when you see stuff from backstage or like when they're going to stage,
They're hanging.
Yeah,
they're hanging, they're having fun, and you know what I mean.
They're like a
It's
family,
just a good
yeah.
vibe with them. I think. In some bands, you don't see that. Not seeing it. But
No, they can walk off stage and that's it. See you at the next show. Yeah. Dylan, you have a list for us here, or do you want me to do it?
No, I could do it. So, Ultimate Classic Rock, who we got the information, like the kind of the liner notes, quote unquote, for Breadcrumbs from, put a list together of all of Alice's albums ranked from worst to best.
Here comes the wow factor, BC. You ready?
Now, I don't think Paranormal is included in this. I think
It's not. It's not on there.
I think it only goes up to Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah.
But I first want to preface it by saying I think that worst to best lists are really good discussion pieces. We're never going to agree.
If nothing else.
We're never going to agree with anybody's rankings of a list. It's never going to be exactly what you want. You're always going to be angry about something. So I just want to say that going in. Having said that, I think that some of the placements, you could tell that they're more a fan of one type of house music than another because at number 26 is Raise Your Fist and Yell.
Like, right dead last.
Really?
I'm like, what the fuck? Because I wrote them down. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Really?
It's very interesting. Well, first, before we get there.
Out of all his albums?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Just if you want to write down a guess on what you think Brutal Planet ended up at, really quickly, write down your guess. So
I have it in front of me.
So that I could see if you're right or not.
26.
So 26 down to 1.
Well, 25 down to 1. You know it's not
25 down to
26.
1. Okay. So you think it's 18. Okay.
18?
So 25, Zipper Catches Skin. That one I could see. Not his best album. That was his blackout period when he was just all...
There's some
drugs and
albums he doesn't
alcohol.
even remember making.
Yeah, that's one of them.
BC got his fist in the air.
24 is Constrictor. Which
Really?
Like, come on,
I mean,
people.
I think that is the weaker of the 80s, late
but
80s
it's not
albums.
fucking 24
No, it's
out
not
of fucking
24.
26.
It's not 24.
No.
It is the weakest of the 80s album, like the late 80s albums.
crazy.
But, 23, Hey Stupid.
Come on.
Who did this?
Ultimate Classic
Some guy
Rock.
that like died in 1978.
22, Special Forces, which that was another blackout album. 21, Easy Action, that was their second album, so you can see that. 20, Lace and Whiskey. That was that like
Broadway
when
one
he
or
was
whatever.
his alter ego of Maurice Escargot.
Yeah, it was like a detective
Yeah,
or
he was
something.
a gumshoe. Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
19 is Pretty's for You, the first album that was produced by who, Dad?
I don't know.
Frank Zappa.
Oh, okay.
And like they literally were jamming, and then Zappa came in the room and was
Okay,
like,
you're good.
Okay,
You're
you're
done.
good.
Yeah,
We
that's your
recorded
album.
it.
That's your album. Thank you. Good night.
Number 18, Along Came a Spider. But don't worry, number 17 is Brutal Planet. So you were off by 1. Which,
You were up by 1. Good guess.
That's
Well, I
BC.
got nervous when fucking Razor Fistio was 26. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh boy,
yeah.
That's probably not going to be up there at all.
yeah, 16 is Trash, which that's one of my
fucking
favorites.
Stupid.
15 is Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. 14, Dragon Town, the sequel to Brutal Planet.
That's got Trigger Man on there. Come on.
Yeah, I like Dragon Town better than
I
Brutal
fucking
Planet.
love Dragon Town.
that
Listen
one
to
used
Dragon Town. Listen to the song Trigger Man. First song on the album.
Trigger Man's
Fucking
great.
kick-ass.
I like Disgraceland.
Disgraceland is fucking excellent too.
Get a little Elvis impression in there. 13, Muscle of Love. That one is a lesser known one, I think.
Yeah.
It does have the Man with the Golden Gun theme that they
Mm-hmm.
pitched for the movie, which
Didn't make it.
did not make it. 12, The Last Temptation. That's not too bad of an album. It's 11, The Eyes of Alice Cooper. That's the album I remember hearing the
That's
most.
a fantastic album. I fucking
'Cause
love that album.
You played that from start
That's
to
got
finish.
What Do You Want From Me? Fucking
Yep. Between high
kick-ass.
school and old school.
Yeah.
Man of the Year. 10, Welcome to My Nightmare.
Another great one.
9, From the Inside. That's an interesting one. That one's
Mm-hmm.
about his time in like a psych ward, right?
Yeah. That's a good album though. There's not like a lot of rock and shit on there, but the songs are really good.
Oh, Bernie Taupin.
That's actually
helped out with that album.
Placed pretty good,
Yeah.
I think.
Number 8, Dirty Diamonds.
Really good
Love
album.
that album. Great album. Number 7, Flush the Fashion.
Terrible album. God. Wow. And it gets worse. The next one.
Number 6 is Dada.
Fucking.
Who did this list?
I know. Like, come on, people.
Number 5, Welcome to My Nightmare, which you have to put it in the top 5.
I think it should be closer to 1, but
Yeah, I do too.
at least it's in the top 5.
Number 4, School's Out.
That's okay.
Number 3, Love to Death, the first true to my ear Alice Cooper album. Number 2, Killer. And then number 1, my album, $1 Billion Babies.
There's some like come on.
There's
like,
some
Dada's
strange,
fucking number 6 plus
some
the fashion number 7.
and
Seriously?
and
Razor Fist 26.
the thing
Yeah.
about like
Crazy.
ranking lists, there's always some things that they put in to start that conversation.
Hey, guess
And
what?
That was a good start
Yeah.
because I was like, what the fuck?
What was that on?
What?
Classic,
Classic
rock,
rock.
or classic rockers. I'm
Well,
like,
what would be your top 3 Alice albums?
my top 3 Alice albums would be. Let me look at the list here real quick.
Yeah.
My top 3 would be. I don't know. It's kind of tough seeing them all.
Yeah.
I would say The Eyes of Alice Cooper would be my number 1.
Oh wow, really?
Absolutely love that album. I think it's fantastic.
Huh.
I'm going to throw Killer's number 2. Killer number 2.
Yeah.
I really like that, listening to it for this episode that I didn't really have to. I really like that. And I'm going to say Hey Stupid and Trash are tied for
Okay.
3.
It's understandable.
Yeah. But, I mean, I got to say, though, also coming from... I got into Alice in the mid-'80s. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't on the Alice train in the 70s at all. I was in the Alice... Actually, the first Alice album I ever heard was From the Inside. Was actually the first one that I ever heard from Alice. But I wasn't, like, into Alice. So, like, the first one that I really got that I was into was Constrictor. And that was 86.
Okay.
So, like, those from 86, like, till now, they were the ones that were really in my wheelhouse for Alice.
Yeah.
And because I really, you heard Schools Out. I remember we used to go to Canada every year. We used to go with my cousins and my aunt and uncle, and we were up there one year on the 4th of July, and there were so many fucking bugs out there. Like, we had to stay in the cabin to watch my uncle light the fireworks off because there's so many fucking bugs out there. And I remember the one firework thing he had was a schoolhouse, and it had like some kind of M80 or something in it, and we were singing Schools Out, and he blew this up, and we were like, yeah, like freaking out. So that was like that, and that was a song that I knew from, and that was probably around late 70s, probably late 70s, and so that was like the Alice song that I knew, but like I didn't really get into checking out Alice until I was checking out all these other bands and shit like that. Because that really, 86 was the album that Alice came back. He was off for 3 years. He did Dada and took a break, which can't blame him after that. And so 86 was really his resurgence. And that's when I kind of picked up on Alice and like Teenage Frankenstein and the stuff on that. And then Raise Your Fist in the Air was the next one. So that was my progression for Alice. So what was yours, BC?
Like I said, I'm like you. I didn't get it. I was not Alice early on. Probably like late 80s to 90s. But I'm blowing my mind here. Of course, I'm going to pick Brutal Plan as one of my favorites. But Constrictor was good. Raise Your Fist and Yell. I'm trying to look at them all now. Dragon Town was good. So there's too many right now. I can't really give you an honest hardcore.
Yeah.
What do you got, Don?
Instinct is telling me Trash absolutely is in my top 3. Welcome to My Nightmare is also top 3 for me. There's not a song in there I dislike. I think they're
That's
all
a great album.
I think they all work front to back as
That
a
is
journey
that would be
through-
close to my
through
top.
somebody's mind, and it's almost a masterpiece for me. And number 3, that's tough. I guess it depends on my mood.
Right.
Like I could put on most of the 80s albums. I mean, Constrictor holds a special place in my heart because Teenage Frankenstein was my ringtone for a while, and I like Hey Stupid. I honestly really like Welcome to My Nightmare too, because that's a different album, and
It is good.
He calls it like the soundtrack of hell, and I think through that lens, the album is really cool, and a lot of really cool guest stars on that album. Plus, Disco Bloodbath Boogie Fever's on there. So
That is great. Yeah.
fantastic song.
All right, so cool. There's our Alice Cooper albums. We did $1 Billion Babies. We did Brutal Planet. We did Raise Your Fist and Yell. We did The Sound of Ass. And we did the Breadcrumbs EP.
And again, we want to reiterate, the only bad song on that EP
Is the sound.
Is the
Sound of
title
A.
song for it, yeah. Which, like we said before, I don't know what they were going for.
What
I
were you
mean,
thinking?
and that's a song I'm like, why is that even on the album? Like, now it's its own thing, which is crazy. Final words and wrap up. What do you got, Dylan?
Alice has always been one of my favorite artists. I say this all the time, but he's the artist I've seen the most. including the time we saw him with Hollywood Vampires. He's just a consummate professional. He's managed to keep a career throughout all these different decades and all these different musical periods. And the ups and downs he's experienced as a person and as a musician are just fascinating. I really want to do a full re-listen to of his entire catalog just to make a definitive ranking for myself of what albums I think are the best and whatnot. I respect the man. He's a hard worker. He surrounds himself with amazing talent, and he himself is a pretty good talent. And I'm always happy when we get to talk about Alice.
Exactly. I mean, like you said,
There we go.
He surrounds himself with talent out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And like you said, I really would have to sit down and delve back into a lot of it. Like Welcome to Your Nightmare. Now that I just looked at him, like, oh yeah. There's just so much. You would have to really sit down and really, for me to give a good list. But what can you say about the guy? He's survived what, almost 50 years, musically.
50 years, yeah.
Easily.
First album came out in '69, so 50 years is this year.
Yeah. So I mean, that says something right there.
Yeah, and I first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, for listening to us, spending a little time, a little chunk of your week with us, and we enjoyed bringing the show to you. Hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, and get out there and check out some Alice Cooper. Let us know what your top 3 Alice Cooper albums are, and it kind of sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's not. Once you see it, you're like, holy fucking, you're thinking of certain songs and certain albums and everything like that. The stuff that we talked about tonight, you're going to be able to see on our Spotify playlist. Dylan's going to put it on with the episode. It's just cool delving back into this stuff, and I'm going to have to also do a deep dive into Alice, the albums that even the classic ones I haven't listened to in forever, and some of them I've never listened to at all.
We'll have to see if Dada is worth the top 10 spot.
Yeah, that and Special Forces. We'll have to see what's happening with that. I'm thinking probably not, but it's always cool. And like you said, lists like that are very subjective, and I think and a lot of it is when you Kiss. It's like Kiss fans. When you came into it, if you started liking like Sonny Pooney, he came into liking Kiss around Asylum, and I love it. The guys in Shout Loud Cats bust his balls about Asylum all the time, but that's when he came into Kiss, so that was his first exposure. So that's going to be his wheelhouse for Kiss. Not saying that he doesn't like the older stuff, but you always remember that first thing that you had with this band, and for me, it goes to Constrictor. I mean, I've heard Alice Cooper songs before, like School's Out and $1 Million Babies and stuff. I've heard before, and I actually even saw Alice Cooper when he was on the Muppet Show. Beach almost spit his beer across the table at me, but I remember that. I remember Alice Cooper being on the fucking Muppet Show. And,
did you remember him being in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band?
No, because I didn't. I'm not a Beatles guy. That's a whole discussion for another day.
Well, and I mean, even I got into Alice Cooper. I first saw him on Wayne's World, and he was playing "Feed My Frankenstein."
Right.
That's how I first experienced.
And that's that. I really think that how you get into a band or artist is when you climbed on board.
It's like imprinting.
Yeah, and so. You guys out there, when did you get into Alice Cooper, if you're an Alice Cooper fan? I know Stephen Michael is not an Alice Cooper fan. I was going to see if he wanted to join us for this episode. And I was literally going to text him that day, and then they were doing an episode, and he said, I don't really care for Alice Cooper. So I'm like, oh, well, I think we'll just leave it with the family here on this one.
And I hope you enjoyed all of the times that Stephen Michael was on the podcast. He will no longer be on the podcast.
Dylan he's banned. You're banned, Stephen Michael. No, actually, you'll be hearing from Stephen Michael in a couple weeks coming up. So
and we'll chastise him for not liking Alice.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We definitely have to remember to bust his balls about that. So, Stephen, remind us to bust your balls about Alice Cooper when you're on the episode with us. Yeah. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying Shocktoberfest. We're enjoying doing it. It's kind of cool doing a themed kind of month, and so, after this month, we're done with themes for a while. But we do have something kind of cool coming up, something totally different from what we've done before. Dylan is not totally down with it, and he's going to be the first one doing it, so we'll see how it comes out. So I want to thank everybody out there for listening. Check us out on Spotify, our playlist that we have for this episode and for our previous episodes. throw us a review on iTunes, on Facebook. Give us a good 5-star. We'll read it out on the podcast. And if you guys have an idea, if you'd like to come on the show and do a topic with us, we're absolutely open to that. If you have a band, you want us to check out your music and spotlight you guys on the show, we will absolutely do that too. Because actually, I did Sacrilege today, and that was an album that someone had sent me to check out through our email, and you can email us at potterthanhellpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit any one of us up personally on Facebook. You could send a message to the Facebook page. So keep rocking out there, you guys. Keep sharing us. Talk to us about your friends. And we want to thank everybody for listening, for joining in. We love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.